Some video game moves are extremely hard to pull off, whether it's dexterity with a controller or a keyboard, or maybe you figured out some crazy thing the game doesn't want you to do, or maybe just do it in a way no one else can. These are 10 video game moves that require incredible skill. If you want to check them out or read up on them some more, maybe learn how to do it yourself, they're all linked in the description down below. But let's get started off with number 10. In the fighting game Tekken, there's a special move called the Rolling Death Cradle. It's King's big move, and it's very tricky to pull off, but it's kind of like a multiple string takedown around some grapple thing in cool King style because he's awesome. I mean, like, look at him. It does a ton of damage, and it requires successful throws and various inputs throughout, so it's a doozy. It's a lot of presses. This move is something else, man. Obviously, every player is different, but people I know can barely ever pull it off. That's notorious, of course, but check out this dude who pulled it off using a piano as a controller. This is Jackson Parody, who cleanly executes this move in a training room, and man, it is something else. It's a tricky string to pull off already, but on a piano, that just makes this feel even, especially with how effortless he makes it look. The full video is really worth watching because the piano sounds and the little fills he add just make it that much sweeter. This is 10 out of 10, straight up. But over at number 9, let's talk Breath of the Wild. Of all games that you would think would show up on this list, yes, Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild is known for having the capacity to do really cool, over-the-top stuff thanks to the game's complex systems. It's all about using your tools, the game's physics, and proper timing to pull off wild and weird stunts. If you've never seen this famous one, man, you should. This is from the now famous player Neko doing a trick shot where he first shoots an arrow high into the sky and then does a trick shot allowing them to bounce off an enemy's head and straight up fly across the map. So far, in fact, like it looks like it almost breaks the game. It's awesome. And then while gliding safely and following the streaking arrow that he initially shot across the sky, Link is caught up to it, and you can see it one-shot kill a Guardian. The launching yourself was one awesome trick exploit, but also one-shotting a challenging enemy from seemingly miles away and catching up to it, that's just insane. Like, my brain can't even comprehend it. Here I am playing Breath of the Wild like a peasant while people are doing crazy galaxy brain stunts like this, man. Just when you think you're good at games, or if you have one figured out really well, watch something like this and just get humbled. Next at number 8, we'd be crazy if we didn't mention people doing BMX tricks in Grand Theft Auto 5. I didn't even know the game was capable of some of this stuff until recently, but people can really pull off some insane jumps and spins almost to where it looks like an actual BMX simulation game. Like, for real, the bicycle physics here are impressive, but it's stuff like this. People pulling off insane wall riding stunts. We're going to link them in the description below, credit where credit is due. YouTube channel Perplex uploaded some really crazy stuff. It seems like player RobMom is the pioneer of some of this crazy stuff. How did they figure this stuff out? I don't know. Do I admire and respect it? Hell yeah. It is so much fun to watch. It's just incredible to see people wall ride, jump, flip, and grind smoothly throughout Los Santos. It's actually almost therapeutic. And really, if I'm being honest, we're only just scratching the surface here. If you've never seen GTA stunt videos on YouTube, first of all, how long have you been on YouTube? But second, definitely go watch some of them because they are shockingly awesome. Now down to number 7, you might think you have a good KD ratio or win streak in one of those big mainstream first-person shooters, but only a skilled few can pull off some crazy shots, like shooting a helicopter or airplane pilot out of their cockpit in midair. We've seen some of this in the Battle Royale big Call of Duty modes. We've seen it done in Battlefield games across massive maps, which kind of made the game series kind of the stuff of legend. It's never not super impressive to see someone fire a sniper rifle and watch a dude fall out of a helicopter a half a mile away. It just never gets old. They should just make aerial vehicle kills its own esport. I would watch that. I'm serious. Now over at number 6, let's talk high-level building in Fortnite. Most people can build in a pinch in Fortnite now at this point. It can take some practice, but most people can get pretty good at it, at least even in a limited degree. It gets crazy though. 90s, 180s, wall traps, coning, double ramps, it all can get super complex super fast. It's impressive twofold. Number one, pulling it off in a fast succession, successfully managing the controls to get something done in an instant. But secondly, knowing the exact situation to do a weird building move and pull it off perfectly to your advantage. The longer you've been playing, probably the more ingrained in your muscle memory this stuff probably is. If you can pull off cool building stuff, good for you, man. This is something that actually scares away newcomers or older players sometimes. You know, third-person multiplayer shooting, fun, good times. But adding that extra layer of building, that's just kind of ramping up the learning curve and the complexity in really interesting ways. And it makes Fortnite into a game you truly have to practice. Next at number 5, of course, let's talk Super Smash Bros. Melee. We've talked about the wild stuff and complexities and culture that comes from Melee, but I don't think we've ever pointed out the wave shine. To be honest, this is one of many advanced techniques developed in the game that branch out from one another, but it's pretty cool. Essentially, it's a move specifically for Fox and Falco that is wave dashing instantly out of their down special. Wave dashing is already an advanced technique we've talked about in the past. That's kind of like an exploit maneuver that is better than just a traditional dash, but adding more onto that here. Wave shining, as we'll describe it right from the Super Smash wiki, is performed by inputting a jump after performing a down special with either Fox or Falco, then inputting an air dodge towards the ground to perform a wave dash. And apparently it's easier done with button inputs than the control stick because it's so specific and crazy speed is required. Apparently this is the groundwork for larger strategies and allows the character more offensive and defensive choices. This evolves into Wave Shine Infinites and other techniques, but basically it all requires prior knowledge of other systems and exploits to an impressive degree. Like I said, wave dashing, L canceling, and the short hop, it's all a lot. And I'll be honest, it's tough to explain. We're not totally experts on this, especially if you're deep in that world, you're probably yelling at us, but it's still incredibly impressive and we're always in awe of Smash players and their skill. Next at number 4, here's something I absolutely love. We're gonna reference a specific clip from YouTuber Ponylion HD. This is called the Peekaboo. In Battlefield 4, apparently, if you're good enough and you do it just right, you can detonate an explosive beneath your tank in a way that blasts you up really high into the sky. And then if you time it right, when the tank spins in the air, you can have a clear shot on an aerial enemy. Like this instance here, where the tank blasts a jet like right out into the sky. It's insane. Sure, I mean, you gotta worry about crash landing back on the ground, but pulling off a shot like that, that's worth it. That's straight out of a sci-fi movie where someone cuts the engines and spins the ship at the right angle and blasts an incoming enemy just in the nick of time. That's why multiplayer games can honestly be so great and why people keep playing them. These almost cinematic moments can happen organically in competition, especially if you've got the skills or the brains to pull off something ridiculous and crazy like this. Now down to number 3, let's talk about Street Fighter and Akuma's move Raging Demon, or the advanced, more powerful version, Wrath of the Raging Demon. Also known as Shin Shun Goku Satsu, it's known as one of the most powerful super combos in Street Fighter. For older fans, this is the move best described as the one where Akuma zips forward and then bam, 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 bam on the screen, and then boom, the opponent is usually dead. It looks super awesome, and even if they've changed it up a bit throughout the series, it's kind of a good punish. It's a good way to shut things down. Some fans may argue it's not the hardest move to pull off on this list, but you need to, of course, time it right and have proper distance to nail it, and Street Fighter can be finicky on the inputs, so you gotta practice. And if you do practice and you nail it, the payoff is totally worth it. Down to number 2, let's do some more Street Fighter. We have to talk about this clip back from an EVO 2004 match between Justin Wong and Daigo Umehara. Daigo is playing Ken, and Justin is playing Chun-Li. They each win one round, but it's really the last round here that matters. It starts off not going very well for Ken. He's taken a lot of hits, and it seems like Chun-Li is going to take the win. Chun-Li could have let the timer run out, which would award the win to whoever had the most health left, that being Chun-Li, but instead, Chun-Li uses their super, and what does Ken do? He blocks every single hit from that super. 15 parries, that's 7 kicks, pause, 7 kicks, pause, 1 high kick. Ken then parries the last hit in air, which you don't need to do, but this makes it easier for them to use their super, seeing that there is a very small window of time after a parry to get a hit in. Being in the air makes it easier. Seeing that they blocked all 15 hits, they now have enough super of their own to go for it, and they get the KO. The crowd goes absolutely buck wild. I mean, I did too, watching this years later, because it's so insane. This clip was viral and legendary for so many years for a reason. Ken ended up with little to no health and totally turned it around with this cool ass block, parry, finisher, punish, and took the win. I wish I was this good at anything. Now down to number 1, here's one that's short and sweet and effective. Synchronized high-speed flight through a narrow corridor in Grand Theft Auto 5. This is via Keg Dog and Vanilla, and it looks like they took tons of coordination and practice to pull this off. Now, to do this in a virtual game world via an internet connection and be so in sync with someone else, insanity. Plus, I mean, Grand Theft Auto's flight controls are good, but they can get you into trouble from time to time. This high-speed crisscross through a busy city tunnel is absolutely out of this freaking world, and we've been watching it on loop. This takes a high amount of skill, yeah, but also just coordination and precision with another player. To have not only one player be that slick and practice so much, but 2 players, that feels like a miracle. And that's what video games are here. Miracles. But of course, these are just some really cool, impressive, and challenging video game moves to pull off, and we just wanted to highlight some. Again, we're not experts in all of these games, but we'd love to hear you in the comments if you've ever nailed a move like this, or if you can think of more challenging maneuvers. Any specific examples, any legendary combos, let us know in the comments down below, because we'd love to make a part 2 for this video. But if you enjoyed this and had a good time with us, clicking the like button is the best way you can help us out. We would really appreciate that. And if you're new, maybe consider subscribing, hitting that notification bell, because we put out videos every single day. But as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.